Damn fool.
Hello and welcome to Sons of the Dragon, the Immortal Iron Fist podcast. My name's Connor McKenna.
And I'm Karl Stout.
And we're here, we're back a week late, but you know, scheduling, different time zones, blood moons, etc. It's difficult, but we're always back. And it's been, a few days ago was our 4-year anniversary, which just took me by surprise because I hadn't really acknowledged any of the other yearly anniversaries, and then I saw it, I'm like, oh, it's been 4 years. So, yeah. Any regrets, Karl?
Sending you that first message.
Yeah. Wow, thanks. Yeah. I regret acknowledging it as well. I remember you sent me that, the horror podcast, you sent me that episode, American Werewolf in London.
Mm-hmm.
And because I love American Werewolf in London. And I was listening to it, and you'll like skip every part that doesn't have the werewolf in it, and I'm just like, this guy is skipping over half the movie there.
I said that?
You did, yeah. You were young, Karl. It's okay. I forgive you.
Now I'm gonna have to see if I can find it and re-listen to it because I don't know why I would have said that.
You said it was boring.
Some of the best special effects were his buddy showing up dead all the time, and getting more and more rotted away. That
was pretty good. That whole movie was was one of the blackest comedies, that's for sure. Yeah. But, you know what my regrets are, Karl?
No.
Okay, it took a while to answer.
Starting to watch Netflix season 1?
No, I really enjoyed season 1. I didn't enjoy the calamity surrounding it, but, you know, I still have my Iron Fist season 1 steelbook, and I'm happy with it. I'll probably watch it again.
We didn't even get that over here.
Really?
No, we got no steelbook.
Huh. Well, that's like a very rare occurrence that we get something that you don't.
I think you in the UK got a steelbook. We got a just plain old normal release, and it wasn't even out long, and people now already want like $60 for it, and I didn't get one when it came out, so now I'm gonna have to eat it.
I think they still sell it here. I don't know. I've seen Daredevil Blu-rays, but I'm not even sure if they're releasing the new ones. Anyway, my regret is we're coming up to episode 100 and we haven't covered the Immortal Iron Fist run or Iron Fist Living Weapon. And
wow.
I don't know. I feel like it's something we should have covered there, but we're going chronologically, so.
In 61 more episodes, you can start.
Man, that many?
Actually, technically, it should be more because we should do the offshoots of like the 2-in-1s and team ups that appear in between these issues.
Okay.
And annuals.
Well, we might have to start skipping issues and doing Iron Fist centric ones because I don't want to wait 60 plus episodes to do the Immortal Iron Fist. Well, I wanna, yeah. Well, I'm guessing most of our listeners have read the Immortal Iron Fist anyway. So, because I have tried to get something together, which, you know, is Immortal Iron Fist related, so. But, anyway, that being said, despite my complaining about Power Man and Iron Fist, we are covering a good issue today. So, good issue, which I really enjoyed. So this is... Oh, and there's no Iron Fist news. I know. There's no hope, etc. So, Power Man and Iron Fist 66, guest starring Daughters of the Dragon. Death is the only escape from the Jade Tiger. Now, before we talk about this cover, we will just go through the credits for the writers and artists in case I forget, because I forgot on that other podcast I do, which was bad. Let's see. Power Man and Iron Fist 66.
Mary Jo Duffy is still writing.
Yes, she is. Terry Gamble is the penciler. Ricardo Villamonte is the inker. The colorist is Glennis Wayne. Letterer Jim Novak. Editor Dennis O'Neill and Mark Grunwald. Cover artists. Wow. Frank Miller and Klaus Janson. Didn't expect that.
Oh, I'm not so sure about Iron Fist, but that Power Man on that cover, that's 100% Frank Miller.
Yeah. Because Frank Miller and Klaus Janson were the dynamic duo of Frank Miller's Daredevil run, which had fantastic artwork. Like, really, really great artwork. And this cover's good.
Oh, I like it, yeah.
Like, Iron Fist's, like, little brand looks a bit wonky, but, yeah, I can...
So's his head.
Yeah. Yeah, it does.
Honestly, Iron Fist and the tiger's eyes are the two weakest things on this entire cover.
Mm. Everything else is good, though. And I mean, I still think Iron Fist is good. It's just, well, actually, no, he's not. But yeah, now that I see it, it is definitely Frank Miller. But either way, yeah, it's still a good cover. My opinion hasn't really changed of it. It's just more interesting now that they did a cover for this. I wonder, was there any Daredevil coming out the same month?
And also, inside the book, it lists Jim Shooter as the big mucky muck, literally.
Wow. Poor Jim. What did he ever do to deserve that? Comics published December 1980. Okay, no Daredevil that month. Surely November. Yep. Oh, yep. They're Anyway, yeah, interesting. Nice little tidbit. Frank Miller's just popping up in weird places doing covers sometimes. But, yeah, so the title of the story... Actually, no, the title of the story doesn't change. It's just called The Jade Tiger.
Uh-huh.
So we get to the first page, and we have... so the setup is Colleen and Misty, or Misty and Colleen, depends which one you prefer. They are breaking into a vault, stealing a Jade Tiger for a mysterious person who hired them.
Dun, dun, dun.
So, which is kind of funny because they're private investigators, and they've fallen on hard times and stuff, and you know they're trying to salvage their business and reestablish their professional reputation. So they spent weeks trying to track this thing down, and it's like, yeah, they found a vault. It's full of, the reason I guess they're being thieves is because they're stealing from thieves, so they don't care as much. Otherwise, Misty would be all like, "Oh, we're breaking the law," blah blah blah.
I mean, I read through this super quick just to refresh myself. Yeah. Do they ever mention that it was stolen from the person that they were hired from, or it was stolen? I don't think it's mentioned once.
It's mentioned that it was like found among all this other stolen stuff, and they don't know who the owner is, and it's probably stolen. So they say it near the end. I'll find the exact thing. Yeah, they talk about it on the last page.
Filled with paintings, statues, and other objects of art.
And
genie bottles.
Yeah.
They missed a prime opportunity to slip some stuff in here.
Yeah, they did, didn't they?
Because this could have been Easter egg galore.
Could have had like the Spear of Destiny in the background or something.
The Infinity Gauntlet.
Oh, wow.
The Cosmic Cube.
Yeah. I think they're all a bit too top level for a vault in New York, but you know, then again, everything's in New York. So, but they're ambushed. Oh, they're although they are fawning over the statue, like, ooh, it's alive. It's so beautiful. So you know, there's something different about the statue, something mystical, possibly. But yeah, they get ambushed by a bunch of goons. They quickly dispatch them by like charging headfirst into them, not giving them a moment to recover. And we're getting like real recaps here. It's like, you know, sneak up on an ex-cop with a robot arm, and then they're describing how Colleen was trained in the ways of the samurai, and she's using her sword but not unsheathed because she's not slicing people up. All that, like, we get a lot of recapping this issue. It just tells us who everyone is.
I can't remember. Does the sword later on become some sort of magical garbage, or am I confusing that with Katana in DC?
Katana's sword is definitely magical.
Yeah. It's got like her father's or grandfather's soul in it, and it sucks souls and does all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So they dispatch the bad guys. They think it's all good, and they said they better get out of here before they wake up for round 2. And all of a sudden, dun dun dun.
Constrictor.
Well, if it isn't little Colleen Wing, and of course, just like every episode of season 1 of Iron Fist, bad guy, everybody has to introduce themselves by their full names.
Hey, come on, that was one of the best parts of Iron Fist. How did people not like that? It was like old school kung fu stuff.
Right. You and I realize it's a shout out to every kung fu movie ever made in the 70s, which was when Iron Fist came out.
Yeah.
But other people didn't get it.
And they were like, blah, blah, blah. That was the rough description of what they sounded like.
The only thing missing from every episode of season 1 of Iron Fist was, "Wanna fight? Fight me."
Yeah, they should have released like a dub of season 1, like them just dubbing over themselves but not syncing up properly with their mouths. That would have been great.
I think it should have been all lines taken from classic kung fu movies dubbed over the actors.
Yeah. Although it would have made the boardroom meetings pretty interesting.
Well, I'm sure they could find some stuff.
Yeah.
What was the comedy that Oda Kirk put out? That was the kung fu movie.
Kung fu comedy. I don't know who that is, but Kung Pao's a pretty famous kung fu comedy.
Yeah, that's it. Steve Odekirk. That's the one where he fights the cow.
Yep.
Yep. Almost fell off the couch when the guy inhaled the moth.
Kung Pao's great, guys. Go watch it. It's funny. Go watch more kung fu movies, martial arts movies, you know. We should put together a list.
Oh. It would be never ending. I'm trying to, one of my bucket list things in life is to see every Shaw Brothers Kung Fu movie. And I had no idea, because I'm like, I gotta be close. I've seen so many. There's like 270.
Oh, jeez.
I'm only in the 90s.
Yeah.
Which is still, if you think about it.
It's pretty impressive that you're that far.
That's a crap ton of Kung Fu movies I've watched. And what's worse is I've watched so many Kung Fu movies, I thought some of the Kung Fu movies I had watched were Shaw Brother films, only to find out they weren't.
Yeah.
But honestly, if you are an Amazon Prime member, if you get the Amazon television, there is like 70 Shaw Brothers Kung Fu movies on Amazon.
Really? Probably not Australian Amazon, because our Australian Amazon Prime Video sucks. It's terrible. But
what sucks is you can't search by like just Shaw Brothers.
No, you can.
You really have to know what you're looking for. No, it only pulls up like 20.
Oh.
But there's much more in there, I know, because just on my watch list to be watched, I have like 45 on there right now I still need to watch.
Oh, Death Duel's on here, which is Kerry Andrews' favorite movie. Kerry Andrews, who wrote Iron Fist.
But also, a little slice of actual Iron Fist news is the Lethal Protector Ultimate Carnage comic did come out. Issue 1 hit, issue 1. Issue 2 should be out soon.
Oh, yeah.
Iron Fist is on the cover and on the variant cover.
But he's not in it.
The issue at all. Matter of fact, Orbius is not in the issue. I think Dagger's on the cover. She's not in the issue.
Yeah. Also, I just got to correct myself real quick. Death Duel is not the movie I was thinking about. It's Duel to the Death. But yeah, don't pick up that because it's false advertising. Iron Fist is not in it. If you might have already picked it up, hoping he was in it, unfortunately. But yeah, he's not in it at all.
And that's why we are not covering it.
Oh yeah, definitely not. Which is really annoying. It's just false advertising. I know comic covers always have an aspect of false advertising, but this is pretty bad. So, you know, if he's on the variant too, like... But, anyway, let's get back to... So we have Constrictor and Sabretooth making his triumphant return. because Danny's fight with Sabretooth was one of the best fights that we've covered, which unfortunately Karl was absent for that episode, but, you know.
It's all good.
Yeah, them's the breaks, etc.
Bigger, thicker, and hairier footed than ever before.
Yep. So...
You already met me, partner. Sabretooth.
Now, notice we haven't really talked about the art yet, because we're in full-on house style mode, where it's nothing's really standing out. Like in
Really?
Something standing out for you?
I think this is a step above house mode.
Really?
Yeah. Dude, wait till next issue.
Alright, sure.
Then you can say house mode. Plus, it looks like 5 different people drew it. It's one of those. But I mean, look at the definition on Sabretooth's torso there. That's tight. The hair detail in the costume. That's definitely a step above house.
You reckon?
Yeah. If anything, I'd say this guy was trying to really do burn.
Okay, well, I mean, I guess I'd have to look at the previous issue because nothing's just stood out to me so far. Like, it's been good, you know. I haven't seen anything in it that's made me stop and want to talk about it.
If anything, what is horrible is the coloring job on these original pages. There is bleed everywhere. It's just bad.
Oh yeah, before I forget, you can pick this up either as the single issue, or you can get it as part of the Power Man and Iron Fist Epic Collection, Volume 1, and the Power Man and Iron Fist Essential Collection, which is black and white, and also probably more expensive.
Yes, because it is no longer produced.
Yeah. So... Okay.
Now, what I still don't understand is we're getting all these hardcover omnibuses of these comic series I would consider lower in priority than Power Man and Iron Fist, especially with the fact that they had a Netflix freaking show. You'd think that would have brought everything out, but again, marketing makes no sense to me. I swear to God.
Are they bringing Daredevil ones out? Like, they're bringing out lots of epic collections. Like, Iron Fist has been getting releases.
What was the one that came out in the 90s?
Oh, God. One that was awful, I'm sure. Fall from Grace?
Late 90s. Maybe even early 2000. It was, what's his face? The guy you hate. The writer.
The writer I hate. Who did Daredevil? Geez, I'm trying to think of a writer I hate that did Daredevil. What, Bendis?
Yes.
Oh, Bendis' Daredevil's great, though.
Well, I'm pretty sure an omnibus is on its way of the first Bendis thing.
Oh, really?
Which, I think was put out before. They're just putting it out again.
Yeah. I have all, like, the ultimate collections of that, so I probably won't pick up the omnibus, but, yeah, I guess, well, Iron Fist was getting a lot of releases. I mean, most of his stuff has been released. Like, you can get pretty much all his comics in trade now. So you got Deadly Hands of Kung Fu, a collection by Chris Claremont. You have Fury of Iron Fist, which is all of his first solo stuff. You have these Power Man and Iron Fist epic collections. Volume 3 coming out October, I hope, because that's you have the in-between stuff. You have a collection with, like, his Namor appearances and stuff, and then you have the other collection with his, like, various miniseries, like Return of Kunlun with Wolverine, stuff like that. And you also have, what do you call it? The Iron Fist Heroes for Hire in the 90s.
Which should have never got canceled.
Yeah. So you do have, like, I can't think of stuff of his that hasn't been released.
Now, is that in that weird graphic novel? I think I own it. I don't think it got shipped to me in a plastic bag. I don't even think I opened it. Does that have the Marvel Comics Presents stuff in it with, like, Ghost Rider and whatnot?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, there's Ghost Rider in that book. I would have to.
That stuff is so bad.
I liked the Ghost Rider stuff. Don't. Oh, it was good.
And how it ended, that Marvel just like magically forgot.
I can't remember how it ended, actually.
Dude, Iron Fist has the Cosmic Cube.
I don't think I've read that one. I've read another Iron Fist and Ghost Rider one.
No, the actual official like last appearance that he's in, Marvel Comics Presents back in the day. Iron Fist pretty much has the Cosmic Cube, and it also transforms his outfit into the magic ballerina outfit.
I remember, yeah. Yeah, I haven't read that, but I know what you're talking about.
I know I've sent you that picture to laugh at.
Yeah.
He's got like ribbons wrapped around his forearms and his like calves and stuff, and it's just like, oh Lord.
So I do have good news.
Uh-oh.
Whoa. Uh-oh. What? I said good news, Carl. Do you think I'm like a harbinger of doom or something?
Well, you are on the other side of the planet, so it could mean something opposite.
Like upside down to Americans. Hey, we banned guns. No!
Oh, my toilet water spins in the opposite direction. Who cares?
So, Power Man and Iron Fist Epic Collection Doombringer, Volume 3 is out this December. So it will collect issues 90 to 107, which obviously leaves one more collection after that.
Gotta milk it.
Yeah, but I mean, I didn't know Kurt Busiek wrote Power Man and Iron Fist. Like, I've read all of it, Power Man and Iron Fist, but I can't remember.
Yeah.
Did he write the end of it?
No, that was, what the hell's his name? Because he changed his name. Priest. Wasn't that Priest?
Priest. Let's see. Power Man and Iron Fist 125. Because Kurt Busiek is like a fantastic Superman writer. And the end of Power Man and Iron Fist is really terrible. No, Jim Owsley wrote the last few, I think.
Priest wasn't the name he was using.
Okay.
In Iron Fist. But I know anyways, Priest wrote towards the end of the stuff because he was all about the black shaft-like cop that showed up.
Yeah, I mean, because Priest is usually good, but, like, the end sucked, and it didn't line up with the rest of the run, either.
And I believe the whole launch of Quantum and Woody, which is what Priest is now known for, and is a hysterical comic if you've never read it. The whole launch of that was using story ideas he had already plotted out for Power Man and Iron Fist.
Yeah.
So the beginning of Quantum and Woody is pretty much recycled Power Man and Iron Fist's stories he didn't get to use. And some of the stuff is hysterical, like when they switch bodies.
I mean, that would have been awesome to read, but I just remember I hated his part because it just didn't line up with the other things. And plus, like, that's his run was when Red Iron Fist was introduced, and it makes me happy that John Byrne retconned that into a plant person. So, you know, I'm like, yeah, screw you, Priest, it's shitty. Should we get back to the issue?
Oh, I guess so.
Alright, so, Carl's admiring Sabretooth's fur, probably taken from rabbits or something, I don't know. So, they really get the crap beaten out of them in the next, immediately.
This Sabretooth is not the Sabretooth that everyone knows and is in love with. I mean, his first 5 appearances, he's pretty much a disgusting rapist scumbag.
But, I mean, well, that being on that tangent, I'm not going to go too far into it, but he's been like that for a long, long time. It's only recently they've tried to make him some stupid anti-hero. Mm-hmm. And it's like, because as I said, I've read Deadpool where I've seen Sabretooth's probably most horrendous things he's done, including the stuff you described. And that was like in the 2000s, late 90s. So, obviously you read you read Wolverine, you know, Silver Fox and all that stuff. But like they're trying to I don't like how they're trying to make him like a good guy now, because he's not. He's so bad.
And also he's not a mutant. He has no superpowers. He's just a mercenary for hire, literally, who apparently has really sharp fingernails, which are more than likely at this point in time part of his gloves.
Yeah.
I mean, I think in the 90s, in a Spider-Man or a Web of Spider-Man issue, Black Cat not only kicks his ass, but scratches him up so bad because he didn't even have a healing factor yet. He's literally running around covered in scratches and Band-Aids for the rest of the issue. And it's hysterical.
I mean, this Sabretooth's still no one to mess with, though. Like, he's a good fighter. He fights like an animal. I mean, you know, his creators ended up making him a mutant, I believe. Or if they didn't make him mutant, they definitely made him Wolverine's adversary because, you know, Chris Claremont, John Byrne did that famous X-Men run. So
I remember growing up reading these comics, I remember so much the mystery of Sabretooth.
Yeah.
How he was going to be Wolverine's dad, and they were hinting towards that. Him and Mystique. And then Mystique turned out to be, like, Nightcrawler's mother and all kinds of weird crap. And then he was going to be the brother of Wolverine.
Yeah.
And then he was like, then it was rumored that they were hinting upon, like, he wasn't the brother or the father, but he was like an uncle or something. And it just never ended. And then finally they just made him also part of, like, the Weapon X program. And I'm like, finally an origin that they can, like, set in stone.
It's amazing how little Wolverine stories have changed since then. Like, it's different characters, same tricks. Oh, this is Wolverine's long-lost nephew, dad, blah, blah, blah. Wolverine's actually a Wolverine now in human form, which I know was
horrible.
One of the original things they were going to go with, but they did that recently too. So I will point out, though, I think Rebecca swears by the new Sabretooth. I think... Well, she likes it, so I'm not sure. Just so we're not bashing it. Yeah, from what I've read, I don't really get it. Like, I think we talked about it a lot in Ed Brisson's Iron Fist run, because Sabretooth turned up near the end of that, which I had mixed feelings about, but it was ultimately worth it when I saw him fight the Rat of 12 Plagues, because that was hilarious, because the plagues did nothing to him. So, yeah.
Well, I think now, does he have a full adamantium skeleton now or just his spine? I can't remember.
I thought it was full.
But I know
Bullseye
is just the spine, but I could have sworn he started with just the spine too.
No, the Deadpool Agent of Weapon X, which is an awesome miniseries, and I recommend reading it, although the ending's really depressing, But like, Sabretooth has full adamantium claws and everything in that story.
But
really
I'm
awesome
almost
story.
positive they've retconned him to the point where his healing factor is like twice what Wolverine's is.
Probably. They could retcon him to be God, and I just wouldn't be surprised. Like,
so the Rat of 12 Plagues would basically, you know, just be a breeze in his face.
Yeah. Yeah. But, so, anyway, Sabretooth just viciously claws Misty straight away. Colleen, tries to...
I don't know if he actually claws her.
Or does he just disarm her?
He smacks the gun out of her arm with such force that she falls back and whacks her head, so she's a little woo-hoo, because that claw would have ripped her open, because he's not hitting her armor to arm, and it didn't. And he's ready to finish her off.
Yeah.
So he can have a little chat with Colleen. I'm not even going to say what he says. Because it's kind of racist.
Oh,
right. Colleen comes from behind and smacks him in the back of the neck with her, again, still sheathed sword. Because this is the one person you want to keep that sheath on.
I mean, that's Sabretooth being racist, though, not the writer.
Yes. Yeah.
Because Sabretooth's bad.
Yes, that was also just the times. Things were different back then.
Well, I mean, they said that stuff in The Karate Kid as well.
Yes. And, you did that today, you'd have people with signs out front. And being triggered.
Oh, dear.
And then, so she's taken out Sabretooth, believe it or not, with a sheathed sword. And then Constrictor makes his reappearance going, he's got a partner too. And you'd be advised to stay clear of my coils.
Okay, just stop with the Australian accent. Yeah, crikey, you call that a knife?
Danger, they're constructed of unbreakable adamantium, mate.
Yeah, so his things are made of adamantium, because he probably couldn't understand Karl with his awful accent. And so Colleen's, he closes the vault, which has like an electromagnet thing to close the door. So Misty gets dragged inside the vault, which is better than being crushed by the door, which is what probably would have. But anyway, so Colleen's trying to fight Constrictor, then Sabretooth comes and gives her a nasty cut, gash, mauling in the side, really.
Tries to take out her kidney.
And Colleen feels like she's about to faint. It looks like a really vicious hit.
Yep.
And she just jumps out the window, which is pretty awesome. It's like, that's a hell of a exit. I like it. And Sabretooth's like, let's get after it. And Constrictor's like, why bother? We were hired to guard the Dingo warehouse, not to go chasing after art thieves, you dingus.
Success.
So Colleen's bleeding in the alley.
Relieves his true colors.
Yes, that's what we all sound like. Colleen's bleeding in the alley.
Accent's trying to do.
Wow.
And Misty is stuck to the inside wall of the vault, which is classic.
Yeah, and which is bad because at some point she's going to run out of air. But we cut to much cheerier things. Oh yeah, actually I'll mention so Sabretooth wants to go after her, but Constrictor's like, we were just hired to guard this warehouse, not go chasing aspiring art thieves. So yeah, they're literally just there to guard the warehouse. They're not there in connection with Colleen or anything. It's just coincidence, really.
And they also do not even realize that Misty's in the vault. They think she ran off.
Yeah, they don't know she's in there. So we cut to the Gem Theatre.
The rebuilt Gem Theatre.
And this is during the day. So this is the next day, I guess. The Gem Theatre's been rebuilt after the big fire and stuff. DW's okay. That cameraman, though, is probably blown to pieces still. And everyone's recounting, ooh, Power Man, bulletproof skin. Ooh, Daniel is living weapon from Kunlun. Giving us the rundown, which they did last issue as well. But, I guess people are jumping in. But in a back alley, we all remember Luke's girlfriend, Harmony, the model, an actress, etc. And she's doing a photo shoot, and then she hears that Power Man is back in town from their sojourn to Canada. And Luke's reminiscing like, hey, we finally got a new Coke machine. It only took the place burning down.
So he's holding it above his head with one arm, because he's carrying it in the building, because that's what they're doing, they're moving in. Yeah.
Luke's moving stuff in and complaining about going up 4 sets of stairs. Danny's cleaning a table. So Harmony just runs off, and the photographer's like, hey, and she's like, don't bother me now, my man's come home. And so she runs off and surprises Luke, who drops the new Coke machine. He's like, oops, sorry, DW. And DW's scratching his head like, oh man, I'd be more upset than that. Like, hey, that's a you goddamn Coke machine. I run a business here, Luke. So this photographer comes up and he's like, hey, if you just walk off, this is coming out of your salary because I hired you to be here on this specific time of the afternoon because of the lighting and stuff, which makes sense, if you want to do it in the afternoon, the sun's facing a certain way. And so Luke just wraps his camera around his neck.
Well, not the camera, the tripod.
Yeah.
With the camera attached to it still. And he's like, Erk.
And
We can finish moving in later, DW. Right now, I gotta buy my lady some lunch.
I was just like, Luke, you're a dick. Harmony, you're also a dick because this guy was just doing his job. He was paying you and you bailed. And what does he get for it? He gets physically assaulted. So, whatever. Then we cut to Danny, and DW is asking how he's going to spend the rest of his afternoon. Danny's like, I'd like to spend it the same way Luke is, but there's only one woman who really interests me, and right now I don't know where Misty is or what she's doing. Because they haven't really been talking to them, which we were talking about last episode. Like, they haven't really talked to them about the fact that Hogarth fired them and stuff. So, but, I don't know, these guys just haven't been communicating with each other a lot because of various convenient circumstances like being unavailable, stuff like that. So, yeah, we cut to...
You're missing something that's disappointing me.
What am I missing?
All right, in that panel where the second panel after she jumps them and the machine is smashed on the ground.
Yeah.
And then you have to look back another page to get the last name where Luke is carrying the desk out of the truck.
Okay, let me just go up here.
The marquee.
Alright, I'm getting there. I just accidentally closed my book. Okay, let's see.
There always seems to be a theme.
I can't see the... You have to tell me because mine's not showing it.
The marquee, it doesn't give the full name of the film, but with what we see, I'm going to take a guess that is the 1951 classic Western, Fort Worth.
Oh, okay.
Starring Randolph Scott, who's very famous.
That's a Western I haven't actually seen.
I haven't either, actually.
Oh, okay.
But just to say, they're sticking with, I don't know if it's Duffy or if it's just the artists or it's the inkers, but they're definitely sticking with Western themes for what they are showing at the theater.
I'd say it wouldn't just be Duffy because there has been dialogue about it before. Like, they've specifically talked about the Westerns showing and stuff. Now, I guess it's hard to remember because we do this, every 2 weeks or sometimes it's some hiatus. I just can't remember if before Duffy took over, it was a Western theater or if it was just like a normal theater.
I don't even remember. Yeah. I'm not even sure if it was because Duffy's got a long run.
Yeah.
She did 20-something issues?
Yeah, something like that. Maybe Rebecca knows or someone. And also the theater was in Power Man, wasn't it, before it was in Power Man and Iron Fist, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, you're the one that's read Hero for Hire, so...
Dude, we're going back 20 plus years.
Alright, so we cut to Misty trapped in the vault who's pretty much just saying, I'm running out of air.
And she still has the Jade Tiger with her. Colleen didn't have it on her.
Yes. So, Luke has walked into Alexandra's Topkapi
Eastern restaurant.
Caribou. Yeah, so this is one of Luke's regular haunts. The food's a little weird, but you can't beat the atmosphere. Which is like a strange sentence about this place, but whatever. So we have this
foreshadowing
golem-looking guy. He's like, Power Man here, this could upset the Master's plan. I must tell him at once. So he goes to warn this Master in this little booth, and all we can see of the Master is a black hand. So, his skin color. So we don't know who he is yet. But he's come to warn said Master, but the Master just says, this is probably just, he's a friend of the two detectives that he hired, but it's probably just a coincidence because Luke comes here often. And Colleen and Misty Knight will be here with the Jade Tiger tonight. they've never failed a client, which is funny because like they have a pretty good record. Why did Jaren fire them? Why doesn't he have, as we said last issue, why doesn't he have these guys for like the detective jobs, and Power Man and Iron Fist for like the muscle jobs?
Mm-hmm.
But,
especially with his love for hiring women, this makes zero sense.
Yeah. So Colleen has either been passed out in the alley the whole night, the whole day, or she's just been making her way very slowly to. Oh, I think she has been passed out actually because she did jump through a window. So.
Yeah.
So she gets up and she's like.
And it looks like there's like a puddle of blood next to her or something when they show her in the alley, even though it's technically on the wrong side of her body. But hey.
So she's like. Danny, Iron Fist, he'll know what to do, he'll help us, he's our only hope, Iron Fist Kenobi. So she's off to find Danny. And meanwhile, in the private gym, Danny is sparring with Bob Diamond. They're throwing shurikens at each other, doing some crazy kung fu style leg checks, fighting with staves, just doing basic punching drills, nothing, just it's okay, little sequence. But Bob wins this session because they've been sparring with each other for the past few months and they're both knowing each other's tricks and stuff now. So, but we get the impression that it's not a regular occurrence that Bob wins a sparring session. So, but just because they win a sparring session doesn't really mean anything. I'm just saying, this is not an indication of power levels or any other stupid Dragon Ball crap. So. Yeah.
And they give a special little highlight to the tiger paw emblem he wears.
Yes, the Jade tiger paw emblem.
More foreshadowing.
Yes. Well, I mean, Deadly Hands of Kung Fu readers would already know that.
Shh.
Okay.
I didn't read it.
Right. So, there's a knock on the... Well, no. Bob's opening the door and Colleen collapses through the door into Bob, and she fills him in what's been happening. They were hired to take back the Jade Tiger from a ring of art thieves, and they got jumped by some guy called the Constrictor and Sabretooth. So
now again, if I remember correctly, her and Dragon dated for a while, right?
Her and Bob.
Her and Bob, yeah.
Yeah, not yet, but soon.
And again, why does Danny not know? I've read so many issues, it's starting to blur.
Yeah, I get that.
Does Danny still not know how to heal yet?
No, he doesn't know how to heal yet.
Okay. So I think this would be like a prime opportunity.
I think he's used it to because as we said, so...
Like reject poison out of his body so far, but he hasn't done a full-on heal yet.
This podcast's been going for 4 years, so we were covering the original run 4 years ago. So, but he's used his chi to purge himself of radiation and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think he's used it to heal anyone else yet.
Which he will use again.
I really wish, because there's this Superman encyclopedia, and it gives you history of his powers. Mm-hmm. And when he got them and stuff, and I really wish there was an Iron Fist encyclopedia. Not that it would be very big, but, just so I could get a page where it's when the first appearance of certain things Danny did, when was the first time he chi healed someone, which I'm pretty sure is in this run,
mm-hmm.
Or when's the first time,
Well, it's definitely at the end of the run, because remember, he's trying to heal the little boy in the hospital.
Yeah, but he might do it before that, though. We don't know. Well, we don't remember. But we do remember that particular issue because it's quite memorable because, Captain Marvel. Anyway.
Captain America and Falcon holding hands.
What?
You don't remember that?
No, I don't remember that at all.
Oh.
Oh, we're in for wild times, I guess. But, yeah, so she fills him in. And Bob's like, Danny, there's probably still time for the understudy to go in my place if I call the theatre. And Danny's like, no, Bob, thanks for offering, but the play is your responsibility. And Misty and Colleen are mine. With Luke's help, I should be able to handle it. And I'm just like, man, this kind of feels like an all-hands-on-deck situation.
Yeah.
No, man, go do your Broadway theatre thing. It'll be right. But, I guess Danny's pretty confident in himself and Luke, with good reason, I guess. They have a pretty good record at this point of not being defeated, unless it's by, like, giant robots. So we have a brief panel of Misty just slumped on the ground, not looking too healthy, and we cut back to the office of the Heroes for Hire, where Luke is talking to not yet convict Jenny Royce, their secretary, and they have a job tonight. Sounds pretty straightforward, and it's like the bank's board of directors like are hiring them to guard against robberies or something. But Danny's called up saying that Misty is trapped in a vault running out of air, so Luke bails, and Jenny's like, "You're under contract," as they're walking out. And Luke's like, "It's after 5 o'clock, they can stick their contract. If I spend my time helping my friends, it's my business." So we cut to, they're all waiting outside this shady warehouse thing. And there's people...
The real question is, what the hell does Danny do here? Does he pull some ninja crap? Because look what he's doing.
I don't know, but it's so cool. Like... So, like, Colleen and Luke are talking, and what kind of bickering is Luke doesn't want Colleen to come because she's really wounded, and Danny's in, like, this meditation pose in the back. And then all of a sudden, he's gone.
They turn around to talk to him, and he's just gone.
And it's really awesome. At this point, it's really awesome because it's like some ninja Batman stuff. And then you go to the next panel, it kind of becomes really funny because he's like hiding behind this really thin pole, but he's like extremely visible.
Yes, you can see the collar and his butt and his pecs and his elbow.
Yeah. And then he like sneaks behind a mailbox. And then sneaks behind a truck. Now, the mailbox and truck aren't too bad, but, like, the pole, really? Man, that's pretty funny. And then he's walking behind their painting as they... And it's like, look, I like the idea of it. It's a cool idea, but it looks pretty goofy.
Yeah, but then he just starts taking out people inside, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, he takes out one guy. Like, one of the
Right.
guards in the vault that he couldn't avoid otherwise. He avoided everyone else. And so Luke... Oh, and they comment that it's ninjutsu that Danny is using. And Luke and Colleen are like, "What's our plan?" And Luke goes, "Ah." And Luke just charges out the front.
Luke pulls a Leroy Johnson.
Yeah, Leroy Jenkins.
Leroy Jenkins, that's it.
I had to correct you. I'm sorry. So that Luke just... This is a good diversion, I guess, even though Danny's already passed all the guards. It'll make sense, actually, later. But yeah, so Luke's taking out all the guys. He's taking them out, throwing around like rag dolls, classic heroic poses as he's doing it.
Getting shot multiple times.
Bullets bouncing off him. And then Colleen comes up, and she takes out the stragglers, and she's like, "Don't shoot at me, he's the one that's bulletproof." And, whatever. She's taking out the stragglers with her sword sheathed, though.
Her loaf of French bread. Her with her deadly baguette.
So, upstairs, Danny arrives at the safe, and he's like, "All I have to do is figure out how to pick the lock, or force it." And he's like, "Well, there's no lock, and there's no time to spare." So we finally get it. After I don't know how many issues, he calls upon an ability that he alone possesses, summoning his chi, the essence of his spirit, channeling it down his arm into his hand until that hand becomes Skrakow, like unto a thing of iron. And he breaks the door down. It's usually Shakao.
Yep.
But, I'll take it, because we got like unto a thing of iron, which feels like it's been ages since we got that. Unless we got that last issue and I just forgot, but I'm pretty sure we didn't. So, he comes in...
Where the hell did the door go?
Vaporized, I guess. I don't know. That's the other thing. It's like, this seems pretty dangerous because Misty's hand was like attached to that door.
Mm-hmm.
So...
But he didn't know that.
No. But Misty seems to be fine. Even though she's face planted on the ground, she wakes up and she's like, "Oh, hey." good to see you here, and it's all nice, blah, blah, blah.
All right.
Now we get to some fighting.
Meanwhile, downstairs.
Yes. So, Colleen's commenting along the lines of, this is too easy, and then we have Constrictor coming behind them. And so Colleen actually draws her blade, because she's really angry at him, and Constrictor was like, I hope you unleash your blade when I taunted you. Remember my warning about the extra features my coils have. I wasn't bluffing. They're charged with high voltage electricity. So he electrocutes her through her sword and knocks her out cold.
Luke is like, Colleen, you're a lucky man, Constrictor. She's still breathing.
Yeah, she doesn't look too healthy though. They engage each other.
Just who do you think you're talking to, buffoon?
Oh my god. Okay, so...
And he's like whipping him with his coils instead of like trying to constrict him. He's using them like a bullwhip for some unknown reason.
Well, he doesn't know that Luke is bulletproof. Well, he doesn't know that Luke has steel hard skin or whatever. So he starts electrocuting him though. A jolt of electricity so powerful that it nearly defeated the Incredible Hulk, which we don't get a issue reference for that.
No, we don't.
We usually do.
Kind of odd.
Yeah.
And we did get one for Sabretooth when he came in. It did say Iron Fist 14.
Yeah. I guess that's like one of the title characters previously meeting, though, I guess. But yeah, Luke says holy sheep here.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
Because he's getting fried by electric. He's a holy sheep.
Yeah, so this is something that can actually hurt Luke. And Danny's carrying Misty out of the vault. And then Sabretooth ambushes him in actually a pretty cool panel where he does look very animalistic.
It's very freaky deaky.
Yeah, he's like hiding on top of this statue. Sabretooth. Get clear, Misty. I'll handle him better alone. You won't handle me at all. And then Danny proceeds to handle him.
Across the room with a double leg throw.
Yeah.
Commenting that somehow he's even faster.
And so, yeah, he's even faster than before somehow. So, Sabretooth goes to like lunge at him, but Danny holds his hands, and then Sabretooth bites him. And Danny's like, he's more animal than man. You know, he's fighting savagely, blah, blah, blah. And we cut back to Luke and Constrictor. And Luke's essentially
hiding.
Yeah, he's trying to do that nin whatchamacallit, worked for Fist. Ain't no reason I can use it too. And it's like, well, you probably weigh like 100 pounds more at least, and you haven't had any training, so he's trying to sneak around, which you never see him do. And it's not working. Like he's making
all this artwork in the process because he can plainly see him hiding behind this stuff, and he's destroying what he's hiding behind.
Yeah, and like Luke's using them as
paintings, vases.
They should have just had like the Mona Lisa, what he was holding or something. But anyway.
Again, so many things.
Yeah,
that's actually a Frank Frazetta painting.
Oh, really?
That's getting destroyed. Yes.
Wow. At least it's an actual painting that they used.
Yes.
Or like, they could have had Leonardo. But anyway.
DiCaprio?
No. It's insulting to the man I was talking about. But anyway. So, yeah. So Luke got smashed into the wall, and there's a bunch of water pouring on him. Maybe that'll come into play later. And we go back to, in my opinion, the better fight, because it's an actual fight, it's not Luke running around. So, Danny's essentially just, like, using a bunch of throws, using Sabretooth's momentum against him.
Judo.
And then, yeah.
Use your opponent's momentum against them.
And Judo is legit. Judo is awesome, if you go to the right school anyway. But, yes, so Sabretooth turns the lights off, so Danny can't see. It's like Sabretooth in his element. So, we have some cool panels here, pitting the animal instincts and natural ferocity of one against the skill and discipline of the other. And in the end, it is really no contest at all. And Sabretooth slashes Danny in the back, and Danny appears to be down for the count. But then Danny leaps up and double kicks him to the face, and then gives him a right hook and knocks out Sabretooth. Because...
No Iron Fist needed.
Yep, which is the same as the previous fight where Danny was blinded in the snow, he was weakened, he had no chi, and he still took out Sabretooth. So, of course he's going to take him out here. He doesn't need to see. Really cool sequence, though.
Mm-hmm.
I really like this fight with Danny and Sabretooth, having some, decent martial arts in a comic book. I liked all the throws and stuff, the judo style.
I like the fact they once again took him out without having to use his special ability.
Yeah. Yeah, and took him out with, an impairment as well. He couldn't see again. So, Sabretooth should probably use a different trick next time.
But even though, if you catch in the panel above where he turns the light off, he does mention that he can track Iron Fist by his scent.
Yeah.
So there is something going on there.
Yeah.
But it's still not highlighted upon.
Yeah, but it is commented a few times that he's borderline half animal. Because of the way he fights and, being able to track his scent and stuff. Which I'm pretty sure was present in his first appearance as well. He was supposed to be very animalistic.
Yes.
So while there's no, healing factor yet or anything.
So back to downstairs.
Yeah.
Luke and Constrictor are still going at it.
Mm-hmm.
Constrictor decides to now fully engulf Luke Cage in his coil. So he's around his neck, around his torso, around his waist, and he's electrocuting the crap out of him. And Luke's like, not much I can do. And Constrictor's like, what do you think you're doing? No, wait, stop it. So he's now basically got him by the coils, and he's whipping him around in circles. So Constrictor is no longer on the ground. This is causing Constrictors to release his coils, which then makes Luke hurl him towards the broken water pipe.
Yeah. And this
and he even says, hey, Constrictor, don't forget to turn off your power before you hit the water.
Now again, Luke,
Zasp. Not a zap.
Zap. Yeah, a zasp. So Constrictor is not dead, but he could be dead considering. But yeah, no, pretty cool feat of strength by Luke, just powering through the electric coils and stuff and tossing him to the thing. It reminds me very much, as Luke usually does, of very early Superman when he had electric cables wrapped around him, and he does similar stuff here. And I think Luke has pretty similar power capabilities, so it's cool to see Luke getting his shirt torn again, actually. Every damn issue. Never stop. So all's well, the bad guys have been defeated. They're walking out, and all the stuff except for the tigers being returned to the museum. And this is where they talk about it. So Colleen goes, except for this, we're giving the Jade tiger to our client, just like we planned. No one knows where it came from or who it really belongs to anyway. Any objections? And Danny's like, but it might really belong to the owner of the warehouse. What do you say, Luke? Let's let him have it. I don't see no harm in stealing from a thief. And so they're like, well, the night is still young. Misty says they should go somewhere for pizza. And Danny's like, not until you girls see a doctor and an electrician, Luke says. And Cage, if we can survive your jokes, a few scratchings and loose wires aren't going to kill us. I still think they should go to the hospital.
And he comments an electrician because Misty's arm's messed up.
Yeah. I mean, I guess maybe Misty doesn't, but Colleen got, knocked out by electrocution. I feel like that's hospital worthy, but...
And she still has her guts ripped open. Iron Fist just taped her up.
Yeah, good point. That too. Could be infected. Who knows what he has on his claws. So, next. Luke Cage falls into the hands of his most ruthless enemy. You dare not miss Power Men.
Dun, dun, dun.
Now, I know it's just me, but I prefer stories with Iron Fist ties, because we are the Iron Fist podcast, so I was a bit...
Oh, shush. He's still in the book.
It's, I don't know, there's just a lot of the, like, Bushmaster and stuff, it was just like,
See, now you've ruined it for next time. Now they know it's Bushmaster.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh, it is too. Yeah. No, I didn't. I was talking about the previous Bushmaster arc. But yes, it is Bushmaster next time. But you know. Yeah. So that was issue. It was a good issue.
Read this art.
The highlight.
You'll eat your words on what you said about this issue's artwork when you see next issue's artwork.
Okay. I really liked the fights between Luke and the Constrictor and Danny and Sabretooth. They were the highlights for me.
Yes, good stuff. It was a good issue all around.
Yeah, it was. One of the better issues.
And unfortunately, because it's Sabretooth's second appearance, it usually goes for ridiculous money on eBay and other places.
Really?
Yep. Well, we're not talking in the hundreds or nothing, but...
Yeah.
I mean, these issues don't go for ridiculous money. In great shape, the issues of this time frame, $8 to $12. This one, because who's in it, is going to cost you more than $30.
Looking up. No, I mean, I'm looking up here. So $13 Australian dollars plus $4.40 postage, $5 Australian dollars plus $3 postage.
Yeah, but what condition are they? I'm talking like minty, like sent to CGC. It's so good.
Oh, good condition. But like, I mean, who wants to CGC this issue? I don't know. CGC 9.2, 151 Australian bucks. So that would be what, like $70 US, 80,
That's
something
not
like that.
Bad, is it?
It's pretty bad. Oh wait, no, $100 US. Still, like, that's $50 more for Australian currency. Carl's just sitting by a fire outside of a cave right now, so that's why harsh winter. But we have feedback. Can you believe it?
What?
I know.
How did that happen?
I don't know. Our good friend of the podcast, Ray, just decided to send in feedback. So, as you guys, we've gotten feedback from Ray before. He hosts the Into the Night and Moon Knight podcast. Go check that out. And he's also my co-host on Last Sons of Krypton, a Superman podcast. Also, go check that out.
Oh, and speaking of Moon Knight, the annual that came out this week is utterly fantastic.
Yeah?
Oh, it's... If you even have a slight inkling of liking Moon Knight, you need to grab this issue with what goes down.
Is this the villain one where they fight villains that they aren't usually...
It's... What is it? It's...
Like that event?
It's like Act of Vengeance or some crap.
Axis of Evil
Kang.
or something?
It's got Kang in it.
Yes, yeah, because that... Actually, Ray and I were talking about that the other day. Apparently, the Deadpool annual is like the best one because he fights Nightmare. It's supposed to be really, really good, yeah. And apparently you can read it without being up to date with Deadpool, so I'm going to check that out.
Yeah, that's the exact same thing with Moon Knight. You don't have to have read like the last 5+ years.
Yeah.
You can just pick this issue up and read it.
And I like, in terms of events, that is such an awesome idea. Having heroes go up against villains they don't usually go up against.
Mm-hmm.
We briefly talked about like who Iron Fist would go up against, and he said like an ex-Herald of Galactus or something would be cool. Or because it's not someone he'd usually go up against, you know, something cosmic as opposed to magic or street level.
Iron Fist versus Mole Man.
Maybe not. No, he's gone up against him before. So, and I'd love if they did that for like DC as well. And it's a real shame there's only like a few annuals. There's not that many. There's like She-Hulk, Deadpool, Moon Knight, Miss Marvel, and a couple of others. I wish they did it for like heaps of heroes, but you know, because this is the stuff I really love. Like I'm a huge sucker for pitting heroes against villains they don't, you know, threats they're not used to. I love Superman against magic. I love, you know, Daredevil, and when that whole Daredevil run by Innocenti where he was like stuck in hell with Mephisto, that was awesome. When it's done well, it's good anyway. Sometimes it's done really horribly, but you know. Go check out that event, guys. Especially the Moon Knight issues and the Deadpool issues. But onto this feedback, though. Hi, Connor, Karl, and Rebecca. Slant-eyed friend. Thought I'd open with that little doozy and get it out of the way. Couldn't help but smirk how things have changed nowadays. It's always interesting to read older comics. Anyway, I thought I'd write a few lines down about my thoughts on issue 66. I really enjoyed this one, and apart from the fun, action-packed finale, I thought the humour in this issue was used really well. The opening sequence with Colleen and Misty breaking in to steal the Jade Tiger was a great way to start. Then the introduction of two notable Marvel villains, Constrictor and Sabretooth, made this quite satisfying. I never knew Constrictor's cables were adamantium. Very cool. Sabretooth seems to have a history with Iron Fist and proves himself ever the deadly opponent for Colleen. I'm not sure who the client is that they are working for, and it's keeping me guessing and wondering, so I'll be reading ahead to find out. As mentioned, I do like the humour used, in particular the gag about the vending machine with Luke at the beginning. Then Luke's sorry attempts at being a ninja towards the end. That was pretty good. The fights were, as mentioned, fun, and I do love the classic one-on-one extended fight scenes which are more prominent during this era. Completely agree. Writing was solid and things rolled along well enough. I really do like the art and colours here. Even Sabretooth is given a more animalistic rendition, and I especially like the panels of Victor Creed on top of the statue and then him biting into Iron Fist's costume. Really enjoyed this. I give this a solid 7.5 out of 10. Keep up the great work. Cheers, Ray. Thank you very much for the feedback, Ray. We love getting feedback. It's like...
Well, the line I skipped because it was racist, he starts off with.
Yeah, I did. I liked that detail. Also, Ray, you spelt my name wrong, despite the fact that we're co-hosts. But, you know, I'll let it slide, I guess.
It's two O's.
Yes, 2 O's, 1 N. Connor. No, thanks very much for the feedback. We love getting feedback, guys. It's like catnip to us. Name. My Kryptonian name is Connor L, actually, Karl, but, you know, I'll forgive your transgression this time. But yeah, feedback's great. Send us more. So we have episode 100 coming up.
Dun, dun, dun.
I am trying to get stuff for it, but don't owe me. Yeah, I'm putting Karl on trial for being a jerk and
Guilty.
Sarcastic. You know, loving his cups of coffee.
Extra guilty.
Yeah. And dealing with his kids. Gotta go deal with the kids. Put the kids to bed. But no, I do have something I'm trying to organise for it. Not sure if it'll work out or not.
In 10 more years, when they're all out of the house and we're finally doing issue 125.
But yeah. It's probably not going to be quite the spectacle that the Into the Nights episode 100 was, the 4-hour episode full of interviews and stuff. But, you know, we'll do something. And I really hope what I'm going for works out, because I'd love to do it. No, it won't be another radio play like Karl and I did all the way back to episode 3.
Damn it.
Because as we said, it's the only time we'll ever be able to pull that off, and that still stands. Because there hasn't been another issue like that, so... Yeah.
I still want to do that full out with sound effects, everything.
I put sound effects in there. Do you know how much work that took?
I know. But I mean, like, full on multiple people.
I know what you mean.
Like
yeah.
Gunshots, car crashes, like the wind blowing if they're outside. Like something from, like, the Judge Dredd, because that's really the only ones I've ever listened to, unfortunately, is the Judge Dredd and Strontium Dog. Audio books where they do all that crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I just want to do it once.
So yeah, it won't be that, unfortunately. But yeah, be excited. 6 to 10 weeks, whatever. Episode 100 will probably hit. So
yay!
Yeah.
Maybe we can have some guests.
Maybe.
Get some guests. Send in your mail. Tell us how you think we're doing.
Yeah.
It's only been 100.
So
4 years.
Next week, you know, we age like wine, Karl. We're like wine. I'm proud that we're 4 years. Yeah, we have hiatuses and stuff, but we haven't stopped. You know, so.
Well, I think I got a couple bites out of that apple from Kunlun, because people still can't believe I'm as old as I am. You're how old? I thought you were in your 30s.
Yeah, Karl is quite the ancient denizen over here at the Immortal Iron Fist podcast. He's easily the oldest out of all three of us by like at least 80 years.
I don't think I am. I think Rebecca might have me by a couple months.
Yeah, but that's really rude, so...
Alright, sorry, Rebecca.
You can't say that when she's not here. Anyway, until next time, may your fist become unto like a thing of iron, and don't accept jobs from shady people to steal statues.
Yes.
Yeah, peace.
Adios.
Iron Fist and all other characters in these comics are properties of Marvel and Disney. Any music or images we use belong to their respective copyright holders. We do this for fun, so please don't sue us. You can contact us at sonsofthedragonpodcast@gmail.com. Just send us mail, comments, thoughts, anything you want really. It doesn't even have to be related to Iron Fist. If you don't want it read on the air though, make sure you mention that. You can also find us on Facebook, the Immortal Iron Fist Podcast, Sons of the Dragon. Our Twitter, at Iron Fist Podcast. Our SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/Sons of the Dragon, hyphens where the spaces are. Our YouTube, Connor and Karl. Just search Iron Fist Podcast and you'll find us real quick. We are also on iTunes. If you find us there, give us a review and rate us. If it's less than 5 stars, please say why so we can improve the show. And we're on Podcast Garden in the literature section, and last but not least, head over to our WordPress, Sons of the Dragon, the Immortal Iron Fist Podcast.wordpress.com. That's where I put all the show notes. I'd like to thank Thomas Tissot for composing the Iron Fist theme song we use at the start of our Iron Fist episodes on the podcast. I'd also like to thank Peter John Sikowski for composing the Power Man and Iron Fist theme we use at the start of our Power Man and Iron Fist episodes. And finally, thanks to you guys for listening.